نفسي بنور من فؤادي حينما رددت يا رب العباد.
Now look at the verse in the Quran. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala states, Hunna libasul lakum wa antum libasul lahunna. If we were to summarize what is the Islamic concept of husband and wife communication, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has summarized it all in this verse so eloquently. What does Allah ta'ala say? They are garments for you and you are garments for them. Hunna libasu lakum wa antum libasu lahunna. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala exemplifies the relationship, the social conduct relation between husband and wife with that of your garments. What's your garments? Your clothes got to do with communication, isn't it? This is where the science of balaghat comes in. You know, when a person does tafsir, in order to understand the Quran, this is where balagha comes in. You know, the rhetoric, you know, the beauty of the Quran, how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala uses certain phrases and how Allah ta'ala conjugates sentences to make it more persuasive. So this single verse alone, it summarizes and encapsulates the art of communication between husband and wife. What is it? Why the resemblance to a garment? That's the question. Mawlana Shaitani rahmatullah and the Mufassirun such as Imam Qurtubi rahimahullah, they explain the reason why. So I'm just giving you a summary of this. Number one, strong connection. The closest thing to your body is your clothes. So that means your husband and wife, you should have a strong connection between yourself. Just as your clothes, your garment has a strong connection attachment to your body, more than anything else, your wife, your spouse needs to have a strong connection with you. It's amazing, isn't it? Number two, adornment in appearance. You know, people like to dress to impress, isn't it? They say, like to dress to impress. Nobody wants to go out wearing clothes, tattered or shattered clothes, right? You want to dress smart, you want to look good. Even though you're giving a presentation, you have to make yourself presentable, isn't it? Husband and wife should always adorn themselves. That's why looking at physical appearance is not a bad thing. A wife needs to be attractive to her husband. Husband needs to make himself attractive to the wife. So just as your garment, it's an adornment for you. Husband and wife need to adorn themselves for each other. Ibn Abbas radiallahu anh used to say, there's a famous, you know, Abdullah ibn Abbas radiallahu, he was such a great jurist of his time. He was like he's the mufassir of this ummah. He's like the mufassir, meaning the Quranic commentator of this ummah. He used to say, Inni uhibbu an atazayyana limra'ati kama uhibbu an tatazayyana li. Because I love to adorn myself for my wife, just as I like my wife to adorn herself for me. You know, men always think about women have to beautify herself for the husband. Man needs to do that as well. A man needs to adorn himself. You know, dress nice, dress smart for your wife, obviously not for anybody else. Okay, you know, make yourself presentable for your husband and wife, and but just by adornment, it makes you happy. Yeah. Concealing the private affairs. Why do we wear clothes? To conceal our aura. Any arguments, any problems that occur between husband and wife, you keep that within the four walls of your home. There's a big problem amongst people, and you know, unfortunately, I've seen this with many sisters. Unfortunately, is that they go and start telling everybody their own problems. Wherever problems exist between yourselves or any defects that are in your husband, you should keep it within the four walls of your home. The only time you discuss your problems if you need help, and you speak to the right people only. Speak to your family members, speak to an alim, speak to a scholar, but concealing the private affairs. If, for example, if the husband is guilty of a crime and he's done tawbah of that, if the wife is guilty of a crime and she's done tawbah of that, that's it. You keep it buried, keep it between you and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So just as your clothes cover your aura, husband and wife, they should cover their own private affairs. Don't go and start telling other people. And sometimes people be very nosy as well, don't they? I mean, please do contribute in the chat box as well what you think about this. There are people, family members come to be nosy. They want to butt into your affairs and you know butt into affairs and try to interfere in your own marriage affairs. Okay, don't go and start telling other people your private affairs. Other people. Sometimes your parents don't need to know about your private affairs. What goes on in the bedrooms, parents don't need to know, right? You know, things like this. Dependent on each other. We are, you know, the clothes. You know, we are dependent on our clothes. The clothes are dependent on us. Yes. So, like a husband and wife are dependent on each other. A husband cannot live without his wife. A wife cannot live without a husband. Yes. Give the father a baby to look after the whole day. What do you think is going to happen to him? Yes. He won't be able to. He won't be able to last a week. He won't even last a day and night. Yes. Ask him to sacrifice his sleep for the sake of the child. He won't be able to do it. He'll go frustrated. You know, he'll go bonkers, isn't it? But ask a wife to go out and start earning and look after your children at the same time, she's going to go through some serious problems. Yes, she'll have no life. Outside and inside is going to be difficult. So if the husband, if she was to depend on her husband in terms of finance, then she has got the freedom of taking care of the family. So depending on each other, solace and comfort. We gain comfort in our own clothes. For example, sisters, for instance, mashallah, sisters, even brothers as well. Sisters, you go out shopping for clothes. When you find a cloth, what do? You buy it straight away, or do you try it on? You try on first, don't you? If it doesn't fit, what do? Do you still buy it? If it's too tight, if the size is so small, do you still buy it? No, you don't. We look for those clothes that where it's comfortable for us, don't we? Isn't it? So that's why husband and wife need to be there as a solace of comfort for each other. If the wife is going through problems, she should be, her relationship with her husband should be such that she should be able to share her problems to her husband, and husband be able to guide her. It's the same thing. If the husband is going through problems, difficulties, he should be that his wife is so approachable that he's able to share his feelings to his wife, and she can guide him to the right way. So just as we seek comfort in our own garment, husband and wife need to seek comfort from each other, safeguarding one another. Yeah. If there's some dirt on your clothes, what do? Do you go around and start walking in the dirt with your clothes? What do you do? Come people, what do? We wash the impurity, don't we? So likewise, if there's any harm that's afflicted on any of the husband and wife, they should be there to support one another. If her wife is going through problems, if somebody else is molesting her, abusing her, husband needs to defend her. If anybody's causing harm to her husband, if anyone's causing harm to her husband, she needs to be there to defend him, provided obviously they're not in the wrong. So safeguarding each other's honor, rectifying each other's mistakes. Okay, safeguarding rectifying the mistakes. Okay, so it's the same thing, the same example. We rectify each other's mistakes. Okay, so if there's any napak in your clothes, you clean it. So if there's any mistake that your a husband finds in his wife, or the wife finds a mistake in the husband, you rectify each other. Of course, this goes about communication. Leadership lies with the man. Who's in control of the garment? Who's in control of the garment? Is it the garment, or is it the one who's or is it the person? It's the individual, isn't it? You should not be subservient to the garment is subservient to you. So leadership lies with the man here.